Welcome to The Editrix, the podcast where we talk about satire, writing, and niche stuff like jeggings.
Hello, welcome back to the Editrix podcast. I'm Katy. I do social media for the Belladonna.
I'm Emily Kapp. I've been a Belladonna editor for 4 years.
I am Heidi Lux, and I am also a Belladonna editor.
All right, and we have a special guest named Viktoria Shulevich, who is a frequent contributor to the Belladonna, and we're so excited. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. All right, welcome everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hot, very hot.
Yes. We're filming this on June 25th, and it is hot.
So hot.
Yeah.
Not for me, weirdly, the editor who's in Los Angeles. I think I'm probably the coolest one.
I will say it cooled off a little today in Chicago, where myself and Emily are. But it's going to get hot again. There's a heat dome, what I hear.
Yes,
Yeah.
I read about that.
It's just
Such
sitting.
Aggressive name for it.
I picture like a someone putting a hat on you without your consent. Yeah.
I like imagine it's like a place in like a sci-fi novel where people like send like thought criminals, like you have to go to the heat dome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I would watch that.
So would I. Yeah. Maybe
It's
we
just
should
like
get on that.
people who are like really sweaty in like futuristic costumes. Like
Yeah, they have to wear like full body costumes and just be hot. Yeah.
yeah.
It's like an environmental thriller. Okay. I'm seeing this.
I
The
feel like
wheels are turning.
I feel like the heat dome is something where you can like easily get out. You just have to open the doorknob, but it's like too hot. Your hands are too sweaty, so you can never get it. So you can never leave.
Yeah.
So it's the real internal prison.
Oh my gosh. And we did it and we caused this to happen. So it's all everybody's fault.
Yeah. It takes place in the future, but you find out we're in New York City the whole time.
Yes.
Oh, it's deep.
That's really deep. Okay, well, we're gonna draft that up real quick.
Emily had
Yes.
the jeggings.
I still have them. I washed them. We're supposed to, okay, obviously we're washing them in between, but I just remember from the movie, I don't think they wash them in the movie, right? To preserve the magic, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Did you guys wash them?
Yes, I washed before I sent to Kristen, who's, by the way, who's not here.
Yeah, she had to.
Sorry, we're missing Kristen tonight.
Miss you,
Kristen's-
Kristen.
We miss you, Kristen.
We know you're listening.
Yes.
She's also in the heat dome.
Yeah, literally.
Unable to get out.
Oh, no.
She's being punished. And so if you're just catching up on the story, I bought them at a Walgreens and I wore them. I washed them and sent them to Kristen. Her dog was on death's door, and then she put on the jeggings, and he lived. He is still with us. So they're magical.
Yes, Buster.
Buster.
The jeggings saved his life.
Mhm.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then Emily, go ahead.
So I guess the jeggings kind of saved my life too, in a way. Well, so if you tuned in last episode, you would know that I did a 4-week run of a show that me and my friend wrote in Chicago at the Bughouse Theater. It was about the mall. And long story short, I was supposed to be just a supporting character, a couple of supporting, but mostly being backstage to help the logistics. It turned out someone had to drop out of the show. Me and my friend ended up having to split one of the main roles. And I like performing, but I also like sometimes get nervous being on stage. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's scary. Yeah, it's understandable.
I don't know. Like, whatever. And so, I don't know why, but when I did all the like acting that I meant to do originally, like the smaller roles, like I was totally fine. But whenever I had to be on stage for this like new unexpected role, like the main role, which I didn't really plan to be, like I got so nervous. I felt so shaky and like I was gonna pass out. But anyway, I felt like the last three shows of my show run, I just felt so shaky. I never passed out, luckily, but I think I was more nervous than actually passing out. But
Yeah.
my jeggings arrived on the closing night, the morning of closing night, and I was like, gotta wear these babies for the closing night. I did. And even though I was shaky on stage for whatever reason, why I was still nervous the fourth time doing this really, who knows? But the jeggings said, "You're not gonna pass out. I've got you, girl." And it was fine.
Wow. Wow. That's
Whoa, right?
amazing.
Yeah, so
Yeah, those jeggings, without them, you probably would have passed out and hit
I
your
think
head
Mhm.
so. I
and
think
Mhm.
bled to
so.
death.
Probably
So
no,
they saved your
for
life.
certainly. I think it definitely saved me. Uh,
Yeah.
and even though I hadn't passed out the prior 3 weeks, who's to say that I wouldn't have closing night had I not
Yeah.
had them on?
It
So
also could have been like retroactive magic from the jeggings.
yeah,
Like
no,
they're
like
so
it
powerful, they
knew.
went back into the
I
past. Yeah.
knew, like my body, my heart, and mind knew they were on its way, and the jeggings were
Hmm.
said, "You're gonna be okay." Like,
He whispered.
yeah.
So no
They
pressure,
supported
Heidi.
your
Oh, so,
legs
yeah.
and
Yeah, literally.
you.
I was like
Yeah.
bending at the knees and I don't know, trying to do the things you're supposed to do to. Anyway,
Oh
so
yeah, not lock your legs, right?
yeah. So they're all cleaned and washed. I might take them for one more spin.
Wow.
And then I will clean them and I will wash them again and ship them to Heidi. Heidi, do you need them for any particular thing coming up or, you know?
Jeez. Oh my God. No,
I
it's
know I didn't.
it's
I feel like
July.
I messed my chance. Like I didn't. Maybe they'll come back, but like
They'll
I
come
didn't.
back.
Yeah.
You'll
Okay.
they'll
Yeah.
come back
The
to you.
magic
Yeah.
Yeah.
works in silent too. Like
Yeah.
maybe like, you know, it protected you from something that was not.
Yeah.
I want the jeggings to get my parents back together.
Whoa, Parent Trap.
Yeah, my
Let's
dad's dead, but
Oh.
I believe in
let's jegging trap
uh
this.
I mean that's like what the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is about,
Yeah.
right? Like one girl wanted her parents to get back together, I think,
But her dad
maybe.
was already married to someone else.
Mm-hmm.
America
So
Ferrera. Little story.
that's what I
Wow.
want from the jeggings, and then we'll
Okay.
see what
Yeah.
happens when I get them.
That's a big ask, but like I think they can do it for sure. Like no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
they were Walgreens jeggings.
Walgreens jeggings are strong. They were what? How much I paid? $9.99. Yeah.
What a steal.
Okay, actually,
What a
real talk
steal.
with the jeggings. So in the movie, Blake Lively plays soccer, and I always think I'm the Blake Lively because we're both blonde,
Hmm.
obviously.
Makes sense.
And all the other girls have brown hair, so I can't be any other girl.
Mhm.
And I started recently started playing softball, and
Oh,
I have hit we're like our last game of the season is on Sunday, and I've hit the ball a total of 2 times in the entire season.
that sounds good though. You've
No,
made
no,
contact. No, no.
no.
Defense. That's
So
fine.
I think maybe the jeggings will
Whoa, yeah.
allow me to hit a ball, maybe to get a home run. That's not
Yeah.
too much to ask for the jeggings.
Wait.
Yeah.
Your last game is on Sunday.
Well, the next season starts again immediately.
Oh,
Because,
okay, great.
yeah,
Okay, so we have a little bit of time.
Okay.
yeah. Because apparently we can play year round in California. I don't know, or LA. Like, I don't know how softball seasons works. Like, sometimes people can't play it. So
No.
I'm just like, they're like, oh, yeah, we're LA. We can play it all year round. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what you guys are. I don't know why this is special.
You're in for life, Heidi.
Yes,
There's no
yeah.
ending. You just keep
I
going.
can never leave.
Let's segue to Victoria because we've talked about jeggings for long enough. Thank you again for for being here and for joining us today. We're very grateful to you. We have a few questions for you, and we want to know how did you get into humor writing?
Thank you for having me. I'm super psyched to be here. And I've been listening to the podcast and I know all about the jeggings. So I
Yay!
was very curious to see what they've been doing. So I'll keep following all the adventures. And maybe one day you'll start outsourcing them to people who are guests. Yeah, so I was definitely one of those kids that was always keeping a diary and writing stories and yeah, just doing all that. I was kind of obsessed with Sweet Valley High books and kept entering their sweepstakes. It's because I really wanted to meet like Francine Pascal. And that's before I knew that she actually was not writing any of those books because they were beneath her. But as a, as a child, she's
Mama.
my hero. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it was always a dream of mine to be a writer. And, then the adulting happened. And I got just too caught up in all the real world stuff and kind of lost it. And then one day I was at my gym, and one of the owners was talking to one of the other people there, and they were discussing the artist's way, and they were going to start doing it. And I've never heard of it, so I was eavesdropping, and then I came over and was like, "Doing? Can I also do it?" So in 2019, the three of us did the artist's way, and once I commit to something, I get I love homework, so I get super into it. So I started doing like weekly emails, checking in with everyone, so we could get reports on all the morning pages of who saw what and any synchronicities on the artist dates and all of that. And it was kind of eye-opening for me because it made me realize that I could call myself a writer, which I never felt like I could before because I felt like I needed some sort of external, I don't know, so validation from other
Yeah.
people to tell me that
Yeah.
I'm a, and so I never told people that I wrote anything because I was like, well, I don't have, it's not official, so no one should know. It's a big secret.
Yeah.
Uh, and so, yeah, so that got me started on morning pages. And then I started writing like this fantasy YA novel. And then I was like, wait, I don't know how to write a novel. I should take a class. Um, so I took some classes at our local creative writing school here called Grub Street. And and they were really fun. I met some awesome people, and we started a writers group. And someone in my class was a humor writer, and I didn't know that was like a thing. Like I knew the pieces were out there. I just didn't know like a regular person could do it.
Yeah.
And
Same.
so, so at the same time, I was doing some creative challenges with a friend of mine. And so we were like giving each other like little assignments because I wanted to just have like short little creative things. And so Hanukkah was coming up, and I gave us an assignment to do like a little short Hanukkah Hallmark movie
Oh,
script with
nice.
like
That's
a
fun.
bunch of requirements, like it had to say dreidel 5 times, and it had to say like so all the sort of usual Hallmarky things, but like made for Hanukkah. So yeah, so I ended up like writing the story, and I was like, this is actually kind of funny.
Mhm.
And I sent it to my neighbors, and they were like, we read it to our families, we loved it. And then
No.
so I was like, do I do something with this? And so I asked the person in my class, I'm like, what do you like? How does this work? And so she told me about some publications and like formatting, things like that. So I turned into a piece and submitted it, and of course got rejected everywhere. But
I was
but
like, I was
I
thinking your
know.
first one,
Would
you're
that be
big. Yeah.
amazing? Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I got really intrigued, and I just started doing this deep dive, and I think I stayed up to like 3 in the morning that like first night, and then I got really overwhelmed because there's so much information out there. But I came across the Second City classes, and so I was like, all right, I'm signing up. I want someone to teach me. And so then I did 3 levels of those, and I found them to be extremely helpful. And yeah, I think like Caitlin Kunkel did them originally. I think they were great for me. And then you always meet people through there too. And yeah, and so since I've done those, I've just started like writing more and getting stuff out there. And the community's been so amazing. I think this is really the reason why I feel so like passionate about it now. It's such a friendly community. And I feel like being like in other part of the writing worlds where if you're doing any kind of like novel writing or querying, it's hard out there. And I feel like people are not as friendly. And in the humor writing world, people are great. So I just feel really, really lucky to have a writers group and just really supportive, like fun people that I have so many things in common with. So yeah,
I
I'm really,
know.
really happy to
Yeah.
That's
be.
great.
I think that's very true. Like humor
Yeah.
writers are more supportive. And it's yeah, like we're all kind of like, you know, in all places of the country and
Yeah.
nobody's like trying to like sabotage somebody else.
Mhm.
I haven't
Yeah,
found that yet.
no.
I know there are like, people are maybe not as nice as others, but I
Mhm.
don't find, you're right. I don't find like it being as very, it's the only world I'm in, but like it's not very competitive. I'm just more competitive with myself, you know?
Mhm.
I, so everybody
Yeah.
very nice, I think.
Yeah, same.
There's no like bad art friends in the
Right.
humor world.
Yes.
Yeah, bad
So,
art friend.
so I think that Art Friends is actually from the Creative Writing Center where I took my classes.
Mm.
I think it's like a group out of there,
Oh no,
Oh, that's funny.
but
that's
I
great.
don't actually know any of them.
That's so interesting, your path, because everybody has, well, some of us have the same path, but like it's very cool to hear how you got into it with writing being like a cornerstone of your life. But like I always just kind of wrote, but like, you just kind of lose it sometimes and you just like you don't think about it until an idea presents itself or like an opportunity presents itself, and that's fun to just get into it. Why not, Why not?
I do I do have a follow-up question. Team Elizabeth or Team Jessica?
I don't know what that is.
Definitely Team Elizabeth. I
Okay.
related to her so hard, except for like the super hot boyfriend. Um, but yeah, Jessica was way too wild for me. I was like, I wish I could be Jessica, but I'm just reading books is basically what I'm doing with my time. So, by the way,
Gotcha.
there was I heard that the way I guess they ended the series, whether there was like some sort of like an earthquake that swallowed the entire town. And
What?
like, and the whole town just like disappeared. Yeah, I need to verify
So
this. I'm fairly certain that's how like Sweet Valley High ends.
Oh
Like
my
it just gets like
so
destroyed.
Not so
it
sweet.
ends with the total
God.
destruction of Wakefield.
Yes.
Not so sweet. Emily said.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm gonna read this now.
That reminds me of like there's some things that are that ended so poorly from the 90s. Like I don't know if you do you remember, sorry, this is so off topic, this is kind of on topic. The show Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that ended when they found out the polar caps were gonna melt or something? Yes,
Yeah.
or maybe I'm thinking if they found out they were gonna die, and that's how the series ended.
But that makes sense because they're dinosaurs. Like the
Yeah,
dinosaurs went
yeah.
extinct.
Yeah, but that's how it ended. They're like they had to like tell their kids.
Like, but I
So
That's
always
so
think
dark.
about
morbid.
It really was.
That's just for
Anyway,
children.
that
what
reminded me. I love
happened.
that show, but I do not recall that part until I don't know. I read that recently.
Is it a
That
cartoon?
no, they were people in dinosaur costumes and like their mouths moved. It was freaky, but like I loved it. I don't
Oh,
know about
like almost like a puppet type feel.
yeah, but I think there are
Yeah.
people in them. We used to sit around the TV and watch this. Our whole
It
family.
Dinosaurs
almost looks like a cartoon, but
had,
like the one with the little baby, the muscly baby is
yeah.
I think there were people, maybe not in the baby, but I think there were people in there, the big ones.
I think like a guy played Fran. And I think I saw like a behind the scenes as a kid and was like, the hell? Like I'm very
No,
traumatized.
it's creepy. Anyway, that
Um,
reminded me of how that ended with them all about to die. Yeah.
and then there's Full House, which spoiler, the end was so random where Michelle falls off a horse and
I
loses
don't
her
remember
memory.
that.
That was the series end.
What? Is that
And
why
she
she's not in Fuller House?
she's like, I don't know who my family is. And like she was just at home. And she's like, I don't remember any of you.
I don't recall that. Oh my
And then she,
gosh.
because it was so like not, what's the word? I don't know.
Jump the shark. I
No,
don't know.
just like it
No.
wasn't like a like I suppose it was dramatic for her, but I guess like Full House is so tame. There was no like
yeah.
huge plot line for them to end it with. So they're like, we'll just knock Michelle off that horse.
Oh my
That's so weird.
gosh.
It could have ended with them all moving out of the house that they're in. Like
Which
it's that
yeah,
easy.
Yep.
Like
true, yeah.
hire me, Hollywood. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
But then they
Hello.
wouldn't have had Fuller House, Heidi, unless they
Well, they could have rebought the house.
Yeah, they could have.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like it's easy. It's just
yeah.
coming. Next.
It could have
Dude,
gone on the
Next one.
yes,
market
and
and they could have all pooled their money and bought it. Yeah.
They could have done a GoFundMe, make it
Yep.
topical.
And they had enough money probably among all of them. Maybe not for San Francisco,
I mean,
but
San Francisco.
yeah,
No,
maybe
there's
not.
no way.
Anyway,
Getting back on topic,
yes.
Victoria, what's your favorite piece that you've written?
I think I think it's my first New Yorker piece, Tiny Delusional Love Stories. It has such a journey. I wrote it, I remember I wrote it in my notes app at like 4 in the morning at my parents' house over Thanksgiving because I was
yeah.
going through a kind of a complicated, very confusing romantic, I can't even call it a relationship, honestly, but it was very confusing and I was really annoyed. And so all of that sort of came out in this like stream of consciousness into my phone notes. And I started, I formed it into a piece and then I sent it to my writers group and they were like, this is too depressing. It's actually not humorous. And I was like, okay, great. I wanted to work on that.
Okay,
So
great.
yeah, so
I'm
I
looking it
kept
up.
revising it. I was like, it was too real, too real. I was like, okay, let me make it better. So I kept revising it and I finally got it to a place where I felt like it was good. And then it got rejected so many times. It got rejected
Uh,
like four
I
No
times.
think
Yeah.
it,
way.
I think you got rejected by us. I think I
Yes, I
remember.
did. Yeah. And actually, you guys gave me
Yeah,
feedback that was helpful because you're the
That's
only ones who give
good.
feedback. So
so
shout out to
funny.
Belladonna for
Shout
giving us
out.
some feedback. So yeah, so you guys said it didn't heighten enough. It didn't get like it could have gotten more absurd. So I ended up changing my last beat and adding in a ghost. And I think that made the piece so much better. So actually that was really helpful. And then honestly, as like I was like, okay, I don't know where else to send it. I guess I'll try the New Yorker because I was like, just because I was like, yeah, let me try. And
Yeah.
I did feel like the piece was really strong. That's why I think this was, yeah, I think I started in November and then I sent it to them in March. So it was like a long, it's gone probably like through like 10 revisions by the time that they got it. And yeah, and then I was like, all right, I guess I'll wait for, 2 months to never to hear back.
Right.
And yeah, and then 2 months later, it was my birthday and I was checking my email and then I get an email. I know
On
it
your
was
birthday?
on my birthday. I get
That's
an email
great.
from Emma Allen that says, "This is
Chills.
really great. We would love to publish this if you haven't like published it somewhere else." And so I literally, and I'm not kidding, I like went blind for like 90 seconds.
Oh no.
I I had like a physical reaction because I was like lost my mind.
Yeah. Happy
That is
birthday.
the best birthday
Yeah, that's
gift ever, I think.
Yeah.
great.
Oh my
So it
God.
was, yeah, it was really insane. And then I just like started jumping up, like it was great. I couldn't stop smiling all day. It was just like it was like the greatest feeling because also like I felt like the piece came from out of like emotional torment and I
Yeah.
worked on it for so long and I was just like, I don't want to give up on it because I really, because some pieces, if I'll get like 4 rejections, I'll be like, okay, I feel like it's time to let this go. It's not as good
Yes.
as I thought it was, and it's
Mhm.
fine. But this one, I just felt like, no, like it's like there's something here. Like I'm gonna keep trying, and so it was felt validating that because sometimes you question your own
For
judgment when it comes
sure.
to your work. And
Yeah.
so
We
in
talk
this
about
one,
this all the time about how we like get like four seems to be the number. Like you get four and you're like, oh, fine. But yeah, I'm so glad you didn't give up. Go
Yeah.
ahead. You're gonna say
yeah,
more.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's it. I was just like, it was just nice to get like the validation because
Yeah.
there's so much insecurity that comes with writing.
Yeah.
When you're sitting
Mhm.
like in your room and you're like, this is good, and you're like, this is crap. This is good. No, this is horrible.
I feel like there's also like a tier of like when you submit it, it's like, oh, this is like New Yorker and McSweeney's are at the top. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, well, if like McSweeney's rejects it, then obviously it's not going to be good enough for like the New Yorker. So
Right.
Not
like
true. Like,
maybe I'll go to the
It's
lower
not
ones, but
true.
it's not
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard
Yeah.
no,
recently that sometimes Emma will take stuff that Chris rejects. So
Yeah.
obviously
everything.
that's true.
Yeah,
Because we're
I
hearing
think
it.
a lot of the stuff they've taken from me, yeah, was rejected among Sweeney's.
I mean, I'm gonna that's gonna be a takeaway for me because I'm trying to slay that white whale of getting into the New
Yes.
Yorker.
me too.
Maybe the jeggings will help me, but
Yeah, that could be it.
maybe, who knows? We'll see what magic they bring. But Yeah, I think that's a really good. And then obviously also too, you weren't just like, oh, it's good enough as it is. I don't know why nobody's taking it. Like you actually like worked on it and like took in the notes and
Yeah.
um, polished it. Because I think sometimes people are a little like ego driven as well. And they're like, obviously these notes are not valid. I'm a genius.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to take into account what people are saying in order to get better.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'll be impatient myself. I like want to put something out there. So if this is a nice tale to be like, just calm down first. This is not topical or whatever, it's fine. It's fine to work on it.
There's
And this
like
is
a
a good
6 month
example.
thing.
Yeah.
Wrote it in November and it was accepted. It sounded like May. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was
and
a
it
journey.
says July
That's great.
16th is when it was published.
No, that's a good point, Katie, because I also like that's kind of I'm like I just want to get it out.
Mhm.
Okay, as soon as someone rejects me, okay, I'm gonna ship it off to someone else.
Same.
But I
Yes.
need to
Yeah.
slow down and be like, okay, why do I think? Because sometimes in my mind, I'm like, every publication is different. If they don't like my style, then that's okay.
That's
I
true
think that's
too.
true. I think it
Yeah,
has
yeah.
some like, I think that's true for a lot of it, but not totally. I need to like step back and be like, okay, like that might be the case, but also, is there anything else like that I can like
I
edit it?
I
Yeah.
usually when I get a rejection, I usually go back and like edit it and get more notes on it. Except for today I got a rejection from McSweeney's and I was just like immediately like, New Yorker, send it to New Yorker. Like, you're an idiot. Like, this is brilliant. No, but it was one of those things where he was like also like, this is good, but we did something similar. I feel like he does a lot of rejections where it's like, oh, we published like a similar thing on like one word you mentioned like 8 years ago. So
Right.
obviously we
Yeah.
can't publish this.
Yeah. I
Um,
know. And you
but
think about like how it's some similar stuff has been published in other publications, and you're like,
mhm,
shoot, or like something, you'll write something and then something else will pop up that's similar. And you're
yeah,
like, what?
Yeah.
God damn it. Like, but
yeah,
I still am gonna put it out there because I worked on it. So I don't know. Oh, there's a
yeah.
lot of
And you
factors.
never know too, like maybe the editor of a different publication like didn't see the other one. So I
Yeah,
don't know, shoot your
exactly.
shot. It's worth
Yeah,
shooting your
exactly.
shot.
I think, yeah. But
You know,
this is a good tale to like calm down and
yeah,
have
I
other
needed
eyes
a
on it.
reminder.
Emily were very similar about that. I was just like, I need to ask people to look at stuff.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just so impatient.
Yes.
I
And
just get
I'm insecure. So
I'm both. I'm impatient and insecure.
When those
um
rejections start rolling in, the
yeah,
insecurity can happen.
it's it's true. Victoria, do you have a writing process?
Um, sort of. I keep a list of ideas in my phone and Google Docs, and what I end up doing is usually I like to have a draft that I'm actively working on something on submission and something on submission at the same time. And so if I've submitted stuff and I have nothing to work on, then I'll go through the list and like pick one and just kind of have it in the back of my head. And I usually end up having ideas that are fully formed sentences when I'm walking my dog or going on a hike.
Yes.
And so I leave myself voice memos so I look like a crazy person, like
Oh,
saying
that is
completely
smart.
ridiculous
Well,
things.
if you're doing it into your phone, it's fine. If people
Yeah.
know that there's like technology involved, then that's the
Yeah.
context where it's okay.
Yeah, it's just the topics that are happening.
True.
Peculiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do end up for some reason walking gets my brain
Yeah.
going. And but that works really well because then like I basically even if I'm doing it just with writing, it's kind of like word diary like on the page.
Yeah.
I just like write and then I can edit because I like editing. Like editing works for me. The blank page is difficult to deal with. So as long as I just have
Yeah.
like, even if it's like a bunch of gibberish, if there's like two sentences in there that will work, like that's enough.
Yeah.
Because then once I start like editing and then I end up checking most of it and it's just new stuff comes in. But sometimes the voice memos are pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the voice memo, that's my main thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've never tried
We
that
Okay,
before,
that's
and I'm
really
curious.
smart. Victoria, you're
yeah.
putting in so many tips for us today.
Literally, no,
No, really.
so many.
Yeah. We actually, I don't know if we warned you ahead of time, but
Gosh.
speaking of notes app, would you mind sharing some of the stuff that's in your notes app?
Yeah, let's get to
Oh
it.
my God. So I have like 438 notes.
Whoa. Oh,
Wow.
Now I
make a
wanna
different
look.
note for each idea.
Oh, okay, so I would say probably like no, like probably 400 of them are to-do lists.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And then oh, I just found one that says 1 tablespoon of witch hazel. I don't know what that means. Um, I have recipes, I have like lists for books, movies, shows. Let's see, I have hiking prep list checklist. I have a bunch of things for hiking that I like make myself check before I go. I have yeah, oh, grocery list, notes for my doctors to ask questions. Humor notes, ideas.
I bet you.
Revelations. I have a lot of revelations. I keep having revelations, and then when I like look through them, it's like the same revelations, like over and over again. Those are, yeah, those are some of the delightful things in my notes. Oh, a dating profile. This was from like, yeah, this is so, okay. I guess I have that in
I,
there.
I feel like some of these could be satire articles
Yeah.
as well, like notes for my doctor or dating profiles.
Yeah. Yeah, have
Yeah.
a notes app something. You're right. It should be in some sort of satire article.
Mhm. Then I have a note that just says towels. I don't know. Like, is it buy towels? Bring towels? I don't know, but it just says towels.
I have one long ass notes app note of all
Oh,
my
just
like
one.
no, sorry, like for
Oh,
comedy ideas specifically.
okay. Okay.
I looked, I have because Victoria said she had 400 or so notes. I have 344. But I've been working on the comedy ideas one, I think since like 2020, 2019. And I don't know, like if you go down at the bottom, like obviously those are the most recent ones. I'm like, oh, so smart, so smart. But I'm sure like in a year I'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Forgot. I don't know about.
Oh my God, my old stuff is so weird.
I'll go back. I'm gonna randomly. Okay, this is stupid. Is for vendetta, but use different letter in word.
Feta? Fun
Yeah.
I don't know.
I forgot about one that I have that I'm really proud of. I have a note that's like literally is just quotes from the TV show Bob's Burgers because I love that show. And every time there's like a really good line and I rewatch it. Sometimes I will read them.
Yeah, whatever
Nice.
makes you happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. My notes is only 208 because I don't like to do notes, but I also am a big walker and like get ideas. And so I do like I'll come up with like scenes and dialogues and I'll write them down. Like I have one note, uh the suburbs have a siren call,
Ooh.
inspired by me being in the suburb. Uh and just really like things that actually make no sense. Rat sitting on toothbrush.
Mm-hmm. Duh.
My most recent and one it's not comedy related. Well, kind of is. That I revisit the most is I think I have misophonia, which is where you like get annoyed by sound. Like people made sounds like chewing, snoring, whistling are my three biggest things. Whistling, can't stand it. We can unpack why later. And so to cope with it, so people whistle in public
Yeah.
a lot. To cope with it, I started taking a tally of who is whistling in public. I want you all to guess who do you think is the biggest offender by
Man,
It's
yes,
obviously men.
it's white men.
they love to whistle.
Yeah.
They love it.
White men have no care in the world. They're just whistling their way through life. It's so weird. So it's helping me to like I'll like whip my phone out and it helps me to cope with it. And then so I stare at them and I go, oh, I think it should be banned. But so that's what I'm doing. I do with my notes mostly.
I used to know how to whistle and I somehow lost that skill. Still
Oh.
trying to get back.
I don't
how to
have the
whistle.
ability. I can't either. I can't do
Wow.
it. I tried and I can't.
Yeah. I think a lot of women can't whistle or were never taught to whistle because
That's
I
so
think it's like
interesting.
traditionally been a masculine thing,
Really?
like to the point where it's
Mhm.
actually been superstitious.
Oh, I didn't know
to
that.
for women to whistle. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Now that you know, I'm a little bit crazy and I can't stand that. So,
If you could start a rumor about yourself, what would it be?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. I think I would have to start a very self-serving rumor.
Yeah.
So I think I would start a rumor that I am an acclaimed best-selling author of children's books that are getting turned into a movie.
Oh
Because I
yeah.
have two children's books that I've written that I have not been able to do anything with. So maybe the hype would get someone actually interested.
Like
They are,
manifestation. Yeah.
The
yeah,
secret,
no.
the
Yes.
secret,
The
but
secret.
with rumors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
Yeah,
tried
so
to
I think.
attempt this rumor. A
Say it
couple
again.
years a couple of years ago I went to this karaoke bar. Katy, it's called Lincoln Karaoke.
Okay.
And if when you go, they have all these pictures on the wall of all the famous people who have been there. And I was like drunk and I was there and I told the manager, I was like, I'm a really famous writer. Please take my photo and put my photo on the wall.
Oh
And
my
he did
God.
take my photo, but I don't think he put it on the wall because I went there again and I looked for my photo and I didn't find it. But he does that unless he deleted after it. I'm still on his phone somewhere.
Okay, so
So eh,
you need a mission, you and
So
Katie,
funny.
go to the bar and
Yeah.
then plant your
Hmm.
photo in there.
yeah, I just like I was like
Yeah.
this is like, this is my, I had the same idea. I was like if people see me on the wall, they'll be like, "Oh, of
It'll
course."
happen. Yeah.
Yeah, just working backwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh, I like
maybe
that. Yeah.
we adjust the intro for you, Victoria, where we like introduce you as best-selling children's book author.
Yep.
Oh my God, yes.
We don't have to name books, but we can say that. We're gonna segue into our favorite pieces. Mine is called A Hypochondriac's Search History by Sarah Yosef. I think is how you say it. We're always like, hope we're saying the name right. Um, and I will always say that lists are my favorite, and I do love this list because I'm not myself a hypochondriac, but I think I borderline am. So I skew. But I stopped Googling because I was like, everything is
Yeah.
gonna say you're dying. So anyway, I really thought this was really great. And she has like a lot of common through lines. And her having gas is one of them, which is so funny. And my favorite line of this and slash maybe of all time is gas cancer a real thing? So, somebody's Googled that. And anyway, she got more unhinged as it went on, and I love it.
I love a punchy,
Yeah.
snappy list like that, where it's like the reps are quick and easy and fun. And I don't know, I just feel like there's like it's leaner, and so it's like the jokes have to be really good when this
True.
list is so short like that. And
Hmm.
it can be harder to pull off, but they really pulled it off.
Um, one of my favorite pieces, I always should preface it as one of because there's always so many.
Yeah.
I literally
Always
we
have
pick out our
two.
list of what we like, and I'm always these five. So one of my favorite ones was Local Woman Seeks Justice for Father's Murder, but Interview just wants to talk about her ex by S.M. Strand. And the reason why I'm picking this particular piece to talk about is because the form is basically a transcript,
Mm,
which I don't know, I think it's kind of a trend right now. And we're usually like, no, this doesn't work because the transcript form, it can feel like a sketch. Like it's very hard to pull off, like dialogue, like not for the satire page, like use it for your comedy. But this I felt did it really well. I think this is like one of the rare like transcript pieces that are like, oh, it actually hit it. And I think one of the reasons why it did it so well is because it's so clear like what's going on like without saying it. So it's like the whole like show don't tell thing.
yeah.
um so the interviewer is just like very blatantly sexist and annoying and like not actually asking Ophelia about like anything real. And it's, yeah, it just does it very well. I also feel like, I don't know, we give the feedback like, oh, like transcript pieces don't really work. And then we publish a transcript piece. And I feel like people are going to be like,
Yeah.
you hypocrites, you jerks.
My pick of the cycle, I suppose, is Manly Cocktails for Manly Men, published 5 days ago by, I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong, Irushi Ahuya. I loved this piece.
Yeah.
She always kills the illustrations. They're always so
Her art is
funny,
so dumb good.
really, really good. But
Yeah.
I feel like every podcast we're like,
Yeah, we do.
we
Yeah,
pick one of her.
we do.
I just like there were just like
She's
all the
good.
details. I think I laughed out loud, like truly, like several times actually. Just like so many good details and jokes throughout.
I
It
think
was
that's one
just
of the things
extra.
that works about her art too. It's like it's not just the image that's the
Yeah,
joke. Like each panel kind of like really like stands on its own because we've had pieces, illustrated pieces that have been like, I don't know, it's like not like they need a little bit more.
yeah.
And so she really does do that, like that little more, that like context. It's, not just like pretty drawings, it's pretty drawings plus.
And I was looking through, and I think my favorite Victoria piece, at least for us, is the Hinge Simple Pleasures clean sheets. That one
Oh
just really
yeah.
cracks me up because
Yeah.
it's so niche. And then I just love how it heightens like so well. I don't it's such a good premise and topic because like you see that and then he just reaches like a psychopathic level of clean sheetness.
Thank you for appreciating the, yeah.
What inspired that?
Hinge inspired that. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but men just really, really, really love clean sheets. And I don't know why that needs to be stated because I feel like there that's like, I love dirty sheets. I can't wait to get into like dirty sheets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there probably are though.
yeah, no, you're probably right. No, I kept encountering it and I was just like, oh my God, this is insane. Why does everyone keep writing this?
That's
And so I just started to like imagine a person that is like so obsessed with the
Dedicated.
clean sheets that, yeah, that
that's great.
Seems like there's like with men, there's no in between.
Very,
Yes.
very
but
black
it's
and
almost
Yeah.
white.
like
Yeah.
it's almost like they got together
Yeah.
and all decided that this is a thing they're going to put on the profiles because I'm like, how do they know that everyone's doing that?
They probably
That's
just
so
want
weird.
to get you thinking about their bed, like clean
That's a really
That's
good
a
sheets
point.
good
in my
point,
bed.
Heidi.
That is a good point.
They're either talking about sheets or then there's the trope where they only have a top sheet.
Yeah.
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 I feel like, or I was thinking the other thing was like, did they want to be treated to clean sheets by a woman? I don't know.
Right. Like they don't currently have clean
Yeah,
sheets, but
right,
they would
right.
like
Yes.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what
I would like some clean sheets, please.
Yeah, that's where my mind
Why
went.
don't they get clean sheets once a year at Christmas time?
And they're the starchy right out of Target kind of clean.
We're showering Victoria with compliments. One of my favorite Victoria pieces is FAQ about my family's Eastern European immigrant style
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
it's another good one.
because that was so relatable. I was like, I remember reading it and I was like, yes, like this exactly.
I wrote that at my parents while we were preparing for Thanksgiving because I think I submitted it as like like a timely because it just came to me. I was like, okay, great.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing for Thanksgiving. And I was like, this is not traditional. Actually tried to take pictures of the food I think to submit with, but they were coming out really gross. So I think I just found borscht on the internet. But the jelly meat looks really unappetizing if you look at photograph it.
It's so
Jelly.
disgusting. I don't know. It's like if you guys don't know what it is, it's like aspic and they put like meat in it, like in case like I don't know, like Han Solo and like that like carbonite in Star Wars. It's just like hanging jelly, and it's like it's so disgusting, and it's like this is gonna give you a heart attack. Like I don't know, it's nasty. And then like Polish people take it to, I don't know if you guys have seen that like lamb. It's like kind of viral, this like Polish Easter lamb, and it's like jelly
Oh,
that
no.
it went viral because it's so creepy. And I had like 10 friends send it to me and be like, look, you're Polish. Look at this weird thing that Polish people do.
Oh no.
And they're like, haha, look at your culture, your dumb culture.
That's
No,
so
I feel
funny.
like people mean well. They're like, haha, this is Polish, you're Polish. That's a thing. And but it like it's guys, it always comes off as like, look how stupid you guys are.
Yeah,
So don't do that.
don't
Don't
do
send
that.
other people from other cultures stuff that's their own culture. Like it's not as appreciated as it seems.
That
But
other
yeah,
people are making fun of, maybe.
yeah.
But
Or
we can
like
make
I don't
fun, but
know.
we can make fun of it because we are in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can make fun of ourselves. It's like for
Mhm.
us,
Yeah.
not for you
Yeah.
guys. But yeah,
Yeah.
the aspect is like so so
This is
so
not the
relatable, so
same,
disgusting.
but we went on vacation down to Fort Lauderdale, and we have like a family friend up, we're from Ohio, had a family friend who was grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and my mom got her a Fort Lauderdale keychain. My dad was like, why would you get her a keychain of her hometown?
So weird.
It's just so silly. I know that's what it reminded me of.
The Hippocratic Oath rewritten for modern American healthcare by
Oh,
Rochelle
yeah.
Fisher.
Looking
Yeah,
forward.
I really enjoyed that. It's a great character voice, and it's also a clever take on a subject that I think people write about a lot because there's
Yeah.
so many things to write about, and
Yeah.
so it's yeah, it's a unique perspective, and it has a lot of really great cutting lines and really well observed details. And yeah, like I wrote a couple of the lines. I shall refrain from doing any injury or wrong except for when the maximum reimbursable in hospital time has been reached by my surgical patient. And then there's a great thread about the gallbladder. So there's some really fun stuff in there.
I took a class with her with Luke. And she's so funny. She just
It's
pumped
really
out some
funny.
really funny stuff. And then yeah, this was no different. Yeah, she's great. Yeah, because so you're right. Healthcare is stupid and it's like it's great to make fun of, but like the way she came in with that that topic and that theme of writing it through a Hippocratic oath, I thought was really clever.
It's a tough topic to write about too. Like just like all the references and
Right.
making sure it's right. So it was
Yeah,
well
you
written.
want to make it palatable. Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria, do you have any words of wisdom? You've given so much. Like I'm really going to remind myself to edit between rejections and
Yeah. And
pause and
voice.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like the voice memo, I'm actually gonna try
Yeah.
that. So do you have any other uh ending words of wisdom or anything you want to say?
I guess I just feel like strongly about the community. So I just want to do like another shout out to all of you guys and just everyone, yeah, everyone in the humor writing community, because I feel like it's just people have put out a lot of positive energy and it's nice to have that. And I think we're writing funny things and we're making each other laugh, which is kind of the most important thing. And so
Yeah.
so I'm just happy to be part of the world.
I've also like met up with people from the satire world, like who I met on the internet, and they're all like super great.
I know.
So nobody's like murdered me yet, which is a positive.
Yep.
And we'll see, but as of now,
Yeah, they won't.
But we have to knock on wood though.
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on. The internet can be like a scary, stupid place, but I feel like it's really good for this. And we all have this same sort of mentality and we have this similar hobby. So that's an easy thing to talk about. But yeah, we really appreciate you coming.
Thank you,
And
Victoria.
this is like eye-opening for me
Yes.
Yes, it's
and
great.
really helpful. And we're so
Yeah.
glad. And thank you for always just having like banger pieces in the Belladonna and other places too for us to check
Yeah.
out and being so nice. I have met Victoria in person, by the way.
Oh, cool. I didn't
In
know
Pen
that.
yeah, in Pennsylvania. So thank you for being so nice in person and on Zoom. And hopefully you took something away as well. Maybe you will go out and get some jeggings today. Maybe you will do a voice note because you can't scratch it down.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. This was really fun.
And thank you again for being on here. You're so prolific and all your stuff is so good. And
All right, let's say goodbye.
bye, everybody.
Bye.